Hello, everybody. My name is Daniel Vallejo Calis, and I'm a graduate student TA for Presentation U. Today, we will begin by speaking about a very interesting topic, one which deals with group projects and presentations. I think this is a very important subject to talk about, given that we all have been involved in a myriad of scenarios within groups that have either resulted in a great experience or an awful task. The most desirable condition is for students to create a common goal and then reach it together. This process would most likely enable the participants to gain valuable mechanisms in leadership skills, communication, and conflict management. Unfortunately, in college scenarios, this is hard to come by. We have all experienced times where you have to deal with that one person who never does any of the work, never shows up for scheduled meetings, and then you end up doing all of their work. Another likely scenario is one in which all the members of the group do their work separately and then piece it together at the end. This might work on paper, but it is largely counterproductive to the purpose of working as a group. None of the aforementioned skills are ever acquired. Also, if the group project is supposed to have a presentation component, the fragmentation of the work will be reflected and the delivery will highly suffer. In this presentation, we are going to learn why you should care about working in a group, explore how to build an effective team, and how to maintain team cohesiveness. And then finally, we are going to learn a lot of really good strategies on how to carry out a great group presentation. This is a really important part of the group work experience because it relies on everyone to work cohesively, not only to produce a final goal, but on being able to deliver it properly, playing off and relying on each other. As we can see in the slide, the two main characteristics of a group or a team is that they must consist of more than two people and that they are designed to accomplish a common goal. I cannot emphasize this point enough. You are not working unitedly, then there is no point on working as a group. As I briefly mentioned in the introduction, we have all probably played different roles in different group settings. So, while I mention a few of the traditional roles, I want you to mull over your own experience and identify which ones you have played out, which ones you enjoyed, and which ones you did not. So, for example, you could have played the role of the leader. This is a member that might be dragging everybody along and taking a big chunk of the logistical issues in dealing with a group, such as arranging meetings, sending emails, setting deadlines, managing conflict. The skeptic is the one person who is always weary of the decisions that are being taken or the direction the work is going in general. This position can be widely productive if harnessed properly. If not, it could be very damaging. It is up to the leader or the person more apt for conflict resolution to disarm these situations and properly manage everyone's talents. What role have you played? How can your own skills enhance the potential of a group and get the job done? So, in general, why should you care about being able to work effectively in a group? Well, as part of the human race, we are ultimately social beings. We are always going to be part of a group and must work accordingly. These groups can range anywhere from your family and friends to your housemates, colleagues, and co-workers, to your town, county, state, and even your country. Living in a democratic society, we rely heavily on effectively working as a team to maintain and better life conditions for everyone. But now moving back to a more individual level, you should definitely care about being able to work in a group because it's what employers want. Of course, they want people to be able to work in a team. In any type of work environment, well, maybe unless you're a master blacksmith hand forging knives in a mountain workshop, you are going to be part of a team. And most importantly, a team is going to depend on you. Employers want to know that you can perform in a group setting and that you will be reliable. Further along, not only other people are going to benefit from your own ability to perform in a group setting, but you will be able to develop skills that will last you your lifetime. So, what are some of these advantages? Besides being a responsible and trustworthy member, you may also be able to develop mechanisms to be able to warrant the same from your own members. Even if you are not typically or naturally a leader, by constantly working in a group, you can develop means through which to create a positive and productive work environment. People learn in different ways. You might be a visual, oral, or kinesthetic learner for that matter. Working in a group environment allows you to come in contact with people who learn differently from you and thus have different ways of explaining things. In this sense, you might be able to broaden your scope on a knowledge and then perfect it. Coming into contact with people you might not normally associate with will also increase your understanding and sensitivity towards cultural differences. College is the first step that most people take outside of their comfort zone, and it usually involves people meeting people who are different from you. We need to embrace our differences and use them to build a better world. Trying out various ways of approaching the same issue enhances your creativity and makes you a better problem solver. And lastly, going back to the notion of a democratic process, being a conscious member of a team allows you to approach broader issues more objectively and informed. This further enables a cooperative and collective emphasis on real-world problems. Unfortunately, most people do not see or are not aware of all the great advantages of working in a group. To them, working in a group can largely be a waste of their time, a medium to creating and having to deal with unnecessary conflict, most of which can actually translate into real people problems. Most people who go into group projects with this mentality are probably basing these notions on past experiences. If people are further enmeshed in this attitude, it is highly likely that they will keep avoiding group work and thus never gain the necessary skills to avoid these issues. The best thing to do is to have a positive attitude and recognize that this can be an opportunity to learn and grow. It is also very important to keep in mind what makes a group productive and effective. As previously mentioned, building interdependency in a group allows for people to actually work together and learn together. A cohesive group means that the various members trust each other and are able to move along swiftly. A way to do this would be to talk about what is expected from each other and what will happen if this is not accomplished. I think it is really important to start establishing accountability in students early on, because the consequences in the real world are usually way harsher than those in school. It's not necessary to get fired from your job in order to learn about teamwork. And always keep in mind that you are all working towards a common goal that will ultimately benefit everyone. As mentioned in the introduction, a presentation is a major component of being a successful team member. In general, you should be able to do a presentation within a group or on behalf of the group you previously worked with. This is an extremely important part of the group project because you need to be able to deliver this information in an effective manner. You and your group have been working really hard on this project for a very long time, but the work can suffer if you do not know how to present it properly. So, how to strategize and effectively carry out a group project. Since each of you still worked in different aspects of the project, you should keep this organization and build off of these strengths. First off, you can construct individual outlines with all of the information, which will then be pieced together into a final formal outline. In this global outline, you should build in transitions so that the information flows adequately. After this is completed, you can work on getting comfortable with the space and how the various members will be distributed. Finally, and most importantly, practice. Practice is such an essential part of any presentation. Begin a few days before the due date and have someone who is not part of the group observe you and give you feedback. This is an opportunity to work on nonverbal communication and as a mean and to build means to cope with anxiety so that you can get the best grade once you are in class. But in general, you should definitely know each other's materials and the structure of the presentation so you can moderate each other. By constructing a global outline and practicing, you will all become familiar with each other's components and styles. A really important part of a public group presentation is the transition between the speakers. Transitions are necessary to keep the flow of the information being given and also to maintain the attention of the public. Make sure you acknowledge the information that was just provided and address what is coming up. You should be able to do this in a very natural manner. Make it amenable for your audience. Your presentations can take a myriad of forms. You can follow a more traditional presentation with a moderator in which the various members present their own piece. A panel discussion, in my opinion, could actually be a bit more productive and engaging with the audience. Here you can build the presentation as more of a conversation, which will help you in attracting your audience, and you might actually all learning something. Well, that's it for me. Please remember that regardless of the type of presentation, you should be very well informed and practice as much as you can. Remember to take each group project as a chance to learn something and to grow. College is a great chance to learn. Here you have enough time, and then when you graduate and are looking for a job, you will be able to provide something meaningful and productive. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Till next time, bye.